So if you are a founder or part of a company where you don't have a proper sales team yet, but you might have a couple of salespeople or a handful of salespeople that is doing things, but you now want to formalize it, you want a sales leader to drive that forward, then you might find yourself in the very difficult position of figuring out, when do I hire a full-time salesman? I would wish that I had a simple answer for you where I could say this is the point in time. But it very much depends on what is the talent you have available on your team, what is the unit economics of your sales department, and when are you going to hire more people. The easiest, of course, is you get a lot of venture and then you hire like say 6 people and then a sales manager to manage them, and then you kind of go from there. Right? But if you don't have that luxury, you might end up in the situation where you will need somebody to both be sales manager and individual contributor, and that is, seen from my perspective, the hardest role to have in all of sales. I've done it a couple of times myself, where I both carried a quota and I had to manage a team of people and grow them, make sure they performed, and everything that comes with being a sales manager. And it is super difficult and not recommended. My general recommendation to companies who are in that scenario is always lean towards full sales management. So the person that is managing the team do not have the switching cost of having to both deliver on their own quota and being a proper sales manager. So if you are in that situation, depending on the situation of course, but normally it makes all the sense in the world to just go full in and say, whoever should have the management role, make sure they have a proper system in place and how to drive performance up, make sure people are happy and all of that stuff. But before you think about it, give them full responsibility of only being managers, so they can move from the point of being I'm responsible for bringing in the revenue to move in and say I am now the coach, trainer, supporter, enabling everyone else in the team for them to bring in the revenue. And there will be a transition where the impact they have on their team, it will take a little bit of time, right? Before they bring up the skill set and the capabilities and the system is put in place for all of the team to kind of lift their performance to cover the cost of having a manager. But it is well worth the investment to have that and to have a proper sales manager. Otherwise, the chance of that person being unsuccessful, leading to churn on that management position, and you ending up in this circle of death where you constantly hire people into a role that's really, really hard to succeed in, and therefore you end up hiring really good people into an impossible environment and thereby setting them up to fail. Them failing and you moving on to another candidate will be really, really bad for your business and really, really bad for everyone hired in. And that does not make any sense. So my recommendation is always lean into investing more into managing the sales team compared to having, an individual sales contributor wearing the sticker of sales manager.